Hey guys, this is Nerdvana, and today I'm going to be doing a game guide to Blood Bowl. I know I've seen a lot of people asking, how do you even get a touchdown? I've played, 12 games. I'm having a lot of trouble with this, and it would seem like a fun game to play nonetheless. Um, but let me go ahead and load up my campaign. Now, I went ahead and started my campaign on easy, and some people will argue that easy is actually harder than medium, and it definitely feels that way when you start off. But I want to say it's just the first game that actually kind of gets you that way. Now the tactic that I have been using thus far has worked. I've only played about 2 matches, but it's definitely been a lot more successful than whatever it is I was doing beforehand. Because honestly, I don't even know what the hell I was doing. But one thing I want to get into right off the bat is your players will level up. As they level up, I would honestly recommend for your front linemen to have the block ability. Block helps with keeping your player from being knocked down. So the block ability and the tackle ability. And what the tackle ability does is if any opposing teammates get near you or try and run by, if they have the dodge skill, then the tackle will basically negate that, and you'll get a better chance of actually knocking them down or stopping them. So those are definitely two good skills to give your players right off the bat. And once they actually make it high enough, they'll actually also get the option for armor value or movement allowance. But I would honestly recommend, again, for the first few levels to go in with those two skills. At first, I would not suggest buying the biggest, or I guess the strongest player out there, like the trolls, or what would be the troll for the orc. I would recommend going with 3 linemen, 4 blitzers, 4 of what would be the second hand up on that, which for me would be black orcs, then 2 throwers. Also, be sure to read these. Be sure to read the skills. They give you some good information as to what they can do with their teammates. Like this one can pick up smaller teammates like goblins, and if the goblin has the ball, then they'll throw the goblin across the field, and the goblin can more or less try and score a touchdown. Also, don't really worry too much about cheerleaders, fan factor, and or assistant coaches right off the bat. I would recommend doing re-rolls, which those are self-explanatory. If you get a bad roll, then you can re-roll it. And using the apothecary. And the apothecary, the reason for that is if you have, like I said, one of those level 2 or level 3 players, and they're out in the field and they get injured, they have a chance of dying or getting severely injured, and the apothecary will actually help you with that. It'll reduce the damage, probably just knock them out, things like that. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, well, I already have, 5 in the cheerleaders. Why would you tell me not to put any into that? And that's only because I've already earned a little bit of money. And what cheerleaders basically help with and the fan factor is kickoffs. How effective are your kickoffs? Which at first I really didn't care too much about my kickoffs, to be honest. Let's go and get this going. And it'll be a orc on orc fight. You also get the option to actually change in some of the money that you have for money that you can use for certain perks almost. And I'll show you what I mean by perks here in a moment. I'm not going to actually get any money for it. But these are the perks right here. Training, be careful with that. If you do try and train a player, he runs the risk of being injured and not being able to play that game or some following up games either. You can also pick up star players if you put enough money into it. I want to say like 20, 30,000 from the original pot would convert into about 300,000, and then you can pick up one of these guys, hire them. Fair play, you get wizards, cheering fans, rioting fans that'll beat up the opposing cheerleaders and or cheering fans. Foul play, so you can bribe the referees, you can bribe enemy players, you can bribe bodyguards. Uh, Again, the extra training, but be careful with that. You can get your people hurt. Then there's potions for strength and potions for agility, which can help your players. And then the last one is actually to try and give illegal drugs to the opposing team and then more or less rat them out to see if they get caught. But we're not going to use any of that. Let's see if we can get this going. Now, whenever lining up, I actually prefer to have most of my guys up on the front lines. Again, this is just how I do it. You don't necessarily have to do it this way. Be sure to read these. They actually help out a lot. They can let you know what's going to happen and what the environment might do. I know sometimes it's a little windy, and it'll actually tell you that, hey, you know, you might get a -1 penalty to your passing throws throughout the entire game. So be careful. Read that. Another thing is these players back here, even though it just seems like you're messing around, try and pass the ball from time to time, because it'll actually earn your players XP. Help them level up. That pass right there might earn them like 1 or 2 XP, but still, it's XP nonetheless. And that right there is actually what you want to try and achieve, is you want to knock out and or hurt as many of the enemy players as you can. And that is not helping any. One of the best things that you can do, though, is actually try and surround enemy players, because your players will actually give yourselves bonuses and help whenever going for a tackle or whenever going for a hit like that. Now then, now that it's your turn again, the first thing you want to do every time is stand your people back up. Even though they can't hit anybody and they can maybe move around a little bit, once they're back up, you get the bonus from them again. So always stand them up first before anything else. Now then, whenever you move your people too, be careful not to move them too far. If you notice a little red circle came up, basically what that means is if I try and move them there, these right here, these guys will actually end up getting a chance to hit them and knock them out. So be careful whenever you move them. So always try and keep your players close together so that they help each other out. Also, you will get one charge ability, basically. And that's where you move and you hit at the same time. But you only get one, and only one of your players can do it at a time, so be careful with that. See, and that right there, even though it looked like it was nothing, it actually gave him a little bit of XP. Here we go. This is what I was talking about when defending. Don't just click right off the bat, read these. Because if you notice, defender down, what that means is my defender will end up going down. But then I also get the option of just a defender being pushed, which is what you really want. It doesn't matter if he gets pushed, he's not hurt, he can still fight again. Now he's hurt. One thing that I do want to note is be careful not to put your guy with the ball right along the edge. And the reason for that is whenever they hit you, they sometimes have a chance of actually knocking you out into the side field. And what that means is the opposing team and the opposing team's fans will beat the crap out of your player. Now, you can do that to them, so feel free to do that as much as you possibly can, actually. Again, it's about inflicting as much damage on the opposing team as you can. And that right there is, again, why these guys have the block and the tackle ability. If one of the opposing teammates gets up to try and run off, then they will actually just kick the crap out of them. Again, the other tactic is keep the enemy surrounded. Whenever you have them surrounded like that, you get more bonuses, deal more damage, and have a higher chance of taking them out of the game, which is what you want. Again, you want to overpower them, you want to deal as much damage as you can. When you deal damage, you also get XP. Whenever you hurt them, you also get XP. So that's what you want. Now, he isn't going to make it all the way to the touchdown zone, but we'll move him up first just to be safe. He's only one away now. They're not even going to be able to reach him. But now I have the option to just deal out as much damage as I can to these guys before scoring that touchdown. One guy knocked out, earned some XP. Another guy down, move with him. Move him up here, give him an extra bonus. Another one down, knocked out, some more XP. Do a charge ability. Another one knocked out, move with him. Now this is actually kind of fun, and you can do this every so often. I want to say maybe twice in a game. Just have to be really careful because your players can get ejected. But you can actually kick a enemy team while they're down. Get a little bit of bonus to that. And yeah, if you notice right there, he actually got in trouble for that. But yeah, you can kick the crap out of the enemy team while they're down, which can always help. You can injure them. And again, the tackle and block ability doing what it should. That's really about it, guys. That's how you score a touchdown. And remember that the turnover time is 8 turns. So once you get to 8 or close to 8, it'll become halftime. But yeah, just like I said, follow the same tactic that I've been using. Surround them. Deal as much damage as you can. And we'll go and score that touchdown now. And that's it, guys. Have fun. Hopefully this helped.